just let you know that we're very excited to have the new things that we have coming to CPNJ, and there's a lot of great discounts and everything. I have one important question though, and I know most hands are going to go up in here. How many people use their CPNJ email? I'm so happy. Very good. It's very important because this year, and as most of you have already, we are rolling out the open enrollment through OT Pro. Okay? Which means pen and paper, you get to enroll yourself and your dependents, make any changes to your personal information as well as beneficiaries through OT Pro. Okay? And all of the instructions on how to enroll is in the back. But you need a CPNJ email because that's your username for your OT Pro login. Okay? And then this other form, if everyone hasn't gotten it yet, I also sent it out in the email. This also has the same information that you can actually download to your phone. Okay? Because I know sometimes we lose paperwork, but at least we'll have it at our fingertips. Okay? And it'll go through all of the information and updates that we're going to talk about today, as well as more information. Okay? One last thing. Today, because we was not able to get to all of the locations to do the open enrollment meeting, we're actually going to record this one. Okay? So if anybody has any questions, if you can kind of hold it to the end, or just come to the back and see me, we're more than happy to help you. But we just want to run through, give you the information that you need, run through everything, and then we'll have it available for all of the other employees that didn't have a chance to come to the meeting. Okay? All right. So today,
so will you be emailing the link?
Yes. Yep. Everything will be sent to you. So today we have Sarah White from Willis, and we have Kathleen from Delta T. Okay? And they will go over everything with you. And like I said, if you have any questions, please see me or Kathleen or Sarah afterwards. And we also have more information over here regarding our new carrier that we're going to be switching to, just for extra information. Okay? All right, enjoy. You're welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I know this agenda probably looks pretty familiar. This is what we did last year. So I'm just going to jump right in. So this year is a year of a lot of change for CPNJ, and it's all good news. First, we have reduced the employee contributions for those of you that are considering enrolling in the HRA plan. If you're already in there, you'll still see savings. If you haven't enrolled in that plan yet, you should know that your contributions for employee-only coverage are actually going to be cut in half. So if you choose to enroll in that plan for employee-only coverage, it will only cost you $60 for the entire year to cover yourself for that. The contributions, if you cover dependents in that plan, are also reducing by 10%. So all in all, it's very good news. We do have a new Delta Dental plan is replacing Aetna. There's still going to be two plans just like there are today. You'll have your PPO plan, you'll have your DMO plan, and we have Kathleen here from Delta. She's going to go through all the details on what you need to know and how to choose your dentist if you want to take the DMO plan. We also are able to reduce your Teladoc copay. So I hope everybody is familiar with Teladoc in here. That's your 24/7, 365 access, either by phone or a video consultation to board-certified physicians. You can use that in the middle of the night if you're away on vacation or on business. If you just can't get in to see your doctor, you know, something like the flu, like you know exactly what's happening, but you just can't get in to see your doctor for a week or two. It's a perfect solution for something like that. So that copay right now is $45 each time you have a consultation, and starting in January, it's going to go down to $25. And Maisha mentioned that we have the new enrollment process through UltiPro. If it's helpful, at the end of this presentation, we have a couple of screenshots that we can go through, but I've seen it myself, and it's very, very user-friendly. I don't think you guys can have any problem at all, but we can go through that, or we can just take some questions if you like. And just to mention, there's one last chance to enroll in the new voluntary whole life program that rolled out with Boston Mutual. That enrollment window did actually close on November 2nd, but we were able to get a last chance opportunity for you. So if you haven't done that and you still want to, you need to make sure you touch base with Maisha before November 16th. After that, you won't be able to choose that plan again until next year at this time. Right, so that's pretty much the big picture in a nutshell. Nothing else is changing with regard to your benefits, your medical, vision, all of your other benefits are going to remain exactly the same. When you go into UltiPro, you will see that your current elections are already in there for you. So if you want to keep what you have, for the most part, you will not need to make an active election, with the exception of your health and dependent care flexible spending accounts, because those always need a new election every year. And if you are enrolling in the dental DMO, you will need to make an active election there because you also need to choose your dentist. Other than that, everything else is the same. So once you make your elections, they will be effective for you January 1st, and they'll go through December 31st of next year. Now, open enrollment, what's going on right now, this is the only time during the year that you can make elections or changes to your benefits just because you want to. During the year, you can't do that unless you have a qualifying life event or a change in status. And that's things like getting married or divorced, having a child, things like that. If you do have an event like that during the year, you just need to make sure that you notify Human Resources of your change requirement within 31 days of the event. That's an IRS restriction, so we need to make sure that we stay within that window. If it's not reported timely, then you won't be able to make the change. Right. So today we're really going to talk about your medical and your dental plans and the employee accounts so you can mix and match and pair up with your medical plans. For everything else, for your vision, your life and disability, legal shield, identity theft, please touch base with Maisha or just stick around at the end if you have specific questions about that. So before we jump in, I just thought it would be a good idea to do a quick review of some common insurance terms to make sure everybody's comfortable with how your insurance plans work. So a copay, that's a fixed dollar amount that you might pay each time you visit a doctor's office, an urgent care clinic, emergency room, or a pharmacy. And the key with a copay is that you pay it at the time that you receive the service. And it's going to be the same every time you go to the doctor. For example, we have a $25 primary care office visit and a $40 specialist visit. And if you were to choose the base or the buy-up plans, this copay method is the way that you will pay for most of your services during the plan year. So every time you go in network, you'll just have your copay. The next is a deductible, and this is the amount that you are responsible to pay before the plan will start to cover your healthcare expenses. So for your base or your buy-up plans, there is no deductible associated with that. You just have your copays up front. If you were to choose the HRA plan, that does have a deductible. And if you were to enroll for single coverage, you have a $1,000 deductible. But CPNJ will fund the first $500 of that for you, so really it's just a $500 deductible. Now, coinsurance, this is similar to the copay, except instead of being a flat dollar amount that's the same every time you go, this is a set percentage of costs that you pay for covered health services after you meet the deductible. So this would apply in-network on your HRA plan. Once you meet your deductible, the first $500 is paid by CPNJ, second $500 is paid by you. If you continue to have expenses, then you would be responsible for 20% of the reduced contracted rate in-network. And then your out-of-pocket maximum is your protection. That's the limit that applies to everything that you pay out of your pocket during the plan year, and that might be in the form of a deductible, a copay, a coinsurance. All of that counts towards that out-of-pocket maximum. And then once you hit that, as long as you're staying in network, the plan is then going to cover 100% of your remaining services for the rest of the plan year. And the last piece of this is the premium, and that is the cost for the health plan coverage, and that is shared by you and by CPNJ. So CPNJ does pay the majority as a cost for you, but your share is referred to as your employee contribution or your payroll deduction. And that is an extremely important part of your decision-making process because you're going to be paying that out of your paycheck, regardless of if or how or when you use the medical plan during the year. And there's a big difference in the contributions when you are looking from plan to plan. So what we're seeing on the screen is the actual annualized employee contributions for all of your plans. So I'm just going to take you across the top line for both of these to read the chart for you. So if you were to enroll in the buy-up plan for employee-only coverage, you would pay over the course of the year $1,736 out of your paycheck, even if you never went to the doctor. If you chose the base plan instead, you would be able to reduce that contribution from your paycheck by a little over $1,000, and you'd pay $720 over the course of the year. Now, if you were to choose the HRA plan, you would almost entirely eliminate that contribution. You would take it all the way down to $60 over the course of the plan year. Now, if you're already enrolled in that base plan, you would still do almost as well. So your contribution, instead of being $720, would go all the way down to the $60. So it's a big difference between the plans. So what you need to know besides that is how are all of the plans similar and how are they maybe different? So they are actually very similar. They all cover preventive care in-network at 100%. So as long as you're going in-network for that preventive care, you won't have a deductible or copay or co-insurance. There is no primary care provider, and you can still access care out of network if you need to, but of course you will save money if you go in-network because those doctors have agreed to charge lower prices. The plans do have similar Oxford networks. Your HRA plan and your base plan have the Liberty Network, which is slightly smaller than the Freedom Network that the backup plan uses. There's a lot of overlap between those networks. And how are the plans different? Really, it's just how you pay for the services during the plan year, because they all cover the exact same set of services. So you're not going to, lose one sort of service if you're going from one plan to the other. So how you pay for services during the year, and of course how much gets deducted from your paycheck, as you just saw. This is just a quick overview side by side of all three of your medical plans. On the left we have the HRA plan, in the middle we have the base plan, and then on the right we have your POS plan. So I'm going to start on the left with the HRA plan, and just as a reminder, this accesses the Liberty Network. This plan is really pretty straightforward. You will have your flat dollar copays for your prescription drugs. Your preventive care is going to be covered 100% in network. Everything else is simply subject to the deductible, and then once you meet the deductible, you have your 20% co-insurance. So if you are going in network, as an example, if you have single coverage, you have a $1,000 deductible. The first $500 of that would be paid by CPNJ. You would pay the second $500 if you still have expenses. Then you would pay 20%. You would pay 20% until the combination of deductible and all your little 20% reach the $3,000 out-of-pocket maximum. Now on the base of the buy-up plans, there is no deductible. You just have your flat dollar copays in network for your services. So on the base plan, we have $25 copay for primary care office visit or $40 for a specialist. If you took the buy-up plan, that would go down a little bit to $15 and $30. You'll have flat dollar copays for your inpatient hospital stays, for your outpatient hospital services, for your urgent care, your emergency room, and for your prescription drugs. And on these plans as well, everything that you pay out of pocket does go towards your out-of-pocket maximum. I would also want to point out that even though the HRA plan does have a little bit of a higher out-of-pocket maximum than the others, once you net out the fund that CPNJ provides for you, the out-of-pocket maximum or the worst-case scenario is actually the same on all three of these plans. Any questions on the plan designs? Oh, actually, sorry, we're holding questions. Okay. So we talked a little bit about the savings that you could achieve through just your employee contributions savings by switching between plans. But what actually happens when you use the medical plan over the year? Is the increased risk worth it for the payroll savings? And in most cases, it is, even in your worst case scenario. So again, just read across the top of the screen. If you were to enroll in the buy-up plan, you have that employee-only contribution of $1,736. So to get your true out-of-pocket exposure, though, we need to add to it your out-of-pocket maximum. So the worst case scenario, if you have a lot of claims during the year, it's $2,500. So altogether, that's really $4,236. Now, if you were to take the base plan instead, you still have that same out-of-pocket maximum of $2,500, but your employee contributions are lower at $720. So your worst-case scenario there would actually be a little bit over $1,000 less than if you took the buy-up plan. And in the base, from the buy-up plan to the HRA plan, because your contributions go all the way down to $60, plus that out-of-pocket maximum of $2,500, your worst-case scenario is $2,560, which is over $1,600 less than the buy-up plan. And this is just the same exhibit for those of you who are already in the base plan, thinking about possibly moving to the HRA plan. So your contribution of $720 plus your out-of-pocket maximum of $2,500 is $3,220. If we were able to reduce your contributions to just $60 by taking the HRA plan, you would be able to reduce your maximum exposure by over $600. A quick overview of the types of medical plan accounts that you have available to you. The first one we have is the Healthcare Flexible Spending Account, and you can pair this up with any of the 3 medical plans that CPNJ offers to you. This account is funded by you, and CPNJ does not contribute to it. In 2019, the maximum that you can contribute is $2,650. We do sometimes see a little bit of an increase annually from the IRS, but they haven't announced anything as of yet. If it does go up, it might be $50, but nothing's been announced. So for now, it's $2,650. There is an IRS rule called the use it or lose it rule, which basically states that if you have funds in this account at the end of the planned year, they would be lost. We do have a little bit of a safety net here. We have a $500 rollover limit. So what would happen is, at the end of the planned year, you would have 90 days after December 31st to continue to submit claims for 2018. At the end of that 90-day period, they're going to review all of your claims, and if you have anything left in your account, up to 500 of it will roll over to 2019. So you're not going to lose everything, just anything over 500. And this account will cover your eligible expenses for yourself and your dependents for medical, dental, and vision. The second type of medical plan account is the health reimbursement account, or the HRA. Now, this is a special account that's only available to people that enroll in the underlying Oxford HRA plan. CPNJ fully funds this account, so you actually cannot contribute to it, but if you don't think that the fund is going to be enough to cover your medical expenses, you could supplement it by opening up a healthcare flexible spending account. So CPNJ is contributing $500 for single coverage and $1,000 if you have family coverage. Anything that you have left in that account will automatically roll over for you every year, and it will accumulate up to a maximum of $3,000 if you have single coverage or $6,000 if you have family coverage. Now, if you happen to have both the health reimbursement account and the health flexible spending account, the HRA is only for your medical expenses. So if you've got a medical expense and you've got both of those accounts, the HRA is going to pay first. They're both housed on the same card, and the card technology knows which account to pull the funds from. And next we have your dependent care flexible spending account. This is not for the healthcare expenses of your dependent, but rather it's for daycare or adult care expenses that are incurred during the day that allow you to actually be at work or be looking for work. And the maximum that you contribute in 2019 is $5,000 if you're single, or if you're married and filing jointly, or $2,500 if you're married and filing separately. These funds are available to you only as they are contributed to the account. So what some people like to do is just to save up all of their funds until the end of the planned year and then reimburse themselves for the expenses that they incurred during the planned year. I should also go back and mention that the HRA and the FSA funds for your health care, those funds are available to you up front at the beginning of the planned year, which is important to know because if you do have a high expense at the beginning of the planned year, even though you're only contributing small amounts throughout the year, you'll be able to access the full amount of your funding. And this is what your card would look like. So again, both FSA and HRA funds are both housed on this card in different wallets, they refer to them. So if the FSA is for your medical, dental, and vision, HRA is for your medical only, and if you have both, HRA pays first for your medical. If you have the FSA right now and you're thinking about enrolling in the HRA, don't get rid of your card because they will be able to just add the second account onto it. If you're not enrolled in either of these and you do decide to enroll, you will receive your new card to your home address by the end of December. And you can activate that either by calling the number on the back of it or by going online, just like you would with any other credit card or bank card that you get in the mail. As a reminder, always save your receipts. I know that this is sometimes problematic because it can be annoying when people want to substantiate your expenses, but it's to keep the plan compliant with IRS rules, so we do have to do that from time to time.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kathleen Roon from Delta Dental of New Jersey. We're very happy to be here. Has anyone had Delta Dental in the past? Okay, I don't think here, but okay. Oh, a long time ago. Okay, all right. Well, we're glad to be here. So, what I'm going to do today is go over the plans that are being offered. There are two plans. There's a PPO Plus Premier, which is very similar to the PPO plan you had, as well as our DeltaCare USA, which is the DMO plan, okay? So the PPO Plus Premier is actually two networks within one plan. So it's a little wordy, but there's two. So PPO is our smaller network, smaller 6,000 dentists in New Jersey. So it's not small like a DMO, but it's a more discounted network. And then wrapped around that is our Premier network, which is around 9,000 dentists in New Jersey. Delta Dental is nationwide, so if you have children at school, they can find a network dentist. If you're traveling and you have an emergency, you can find a dentist within our network. You also have, under this plan, the option to see a dentist that is out of our network, okay? And we'll go through the plan options and how each copay works. So if you do see a PPO provider, that gives you the lowest out-of-pocket cost because we're paying the dentist less, and in turn your cost is less. Premier is a larger network, it's a little higher out-of-pocket. Your coinsurance is a little different if you see a Premier out-of-network dentist, but still great coverage. You have $1,500 covered in a calendar year per person, and the orthodontic benefit is $1,000, and that's a lifetime benefit, okay? So ortho is separate from everything else. And then the DeltaCare USA, again, this is a national network, but it's a DMO, so it's small. Okay, so with this plan, if you're considering it, just like when you had the Aetna, you want to make sure that your dentist is in our network. If they're not, there's no coverage, okay? So I always just caution people, please make sure your dentist is in our network. The great thing about the plan is there's no deductibles, there's no calendar year maximum, there's no claim forms. You select a primary care dentist, and that's who you would go to. You can always switch dentists, and we'll go through that in a few minutes. Each member of your family can have a different dentist. You don't have to all use the same office. You have designated co-payments. We do have booklets up here. So afterwards, if you are interested in the DMO, I would take that because the booklet actually outlines each co-payment for any service you would need for dental care. Okay, so you can see up front what your exposure would be. Let's say, for instance, you need a crown. The co-payment might be like $380. That's all you pay. Right, we know a crown is around $1,200 usually, minimum. So that's a big difference. But again, you're using that network. And you pay the copay directly to the dentist, including braces. Okay? So the PPO. You choose your own dentist. The nice thing with seeing a network dentist is you are protected by our contracted fees. So dentists cannot charge you above the agreed fee with Delta Dental. Because you always see a submitted charge, but then there's a fee that we pay. They can't charge you that difference. If you do go to an out-of-network dentist, they are allowed to charge you the difference because they have no contract with us. Okay, so you are protected by our contracts. And just to give you an example, that with Premier Dentists, the discount is about 15% off of submitted charges, and PPO can be 30, sometimes almost 40%. So it's a very deep discount. Okay. Again, your out-of-pocket costs will be lower if you use a PPO provider, and then in turn, your dollar goes further for your calendar year maximum because you're paying less, right? So the charge might be $500, but our fee is $300. So you've saved yourself $200 going to that calendar year maximum. If you see a premier provider, you will pay more, both on the co-insurance as well because their fee is higher. We do pay those dentists, and thus dentists love our premier network. That was our original network. We've been in New Jersey for 50 years, and that's what we started with, was Premier. But we have really been building the PPO network over the last few years, especially in New Jersey. It's grown significantly. So the fees are higher, so you will use your annual maximum a little faster. And again, if you do see an out-of-network dentist, it's even more because they can bill you, a higher fee. So for dentists that do not participate with Delta Dental, you do have to submit a claim to Delta Dental. You would pay that dentist directly, and then we would reimburse you. We don't pay the dentist directly if they're not in our network. Our claim forms are on our website. You can just download it, print it, and send it to Delta Dental. Okay? Again, you pay directly to the dentist, and then your out-of-pocket cost is higher. So this is the plan design. So as you can see, we split it between if you see a PPO provider, and then if you see a premier or out-of-network. So you have a calendar year deductible. So only 3 people have to meet the deductible. If you have more than 3 people in your family and 3 hit it, then you satisfied it. It's $50 a person, up to a max of $150 for the family. Your calendar year maximum, again, no matter what network you see, is $1,500, and that resets every January. Your preventive care. There's no deductible for your preventive care, okay? So that's your exams, your cleanings. You get 2 exams and cleanings in a calendar year. They don't have to be every 6 months apart. I schedule mine so that we're on schedule and all my kids. But if you want to, space them a little differently, you are free to do that as well. Bite lane x-rays, fluoride treatments, space maintainers, as well as sealants for children to age 14. Covered 100%, again, no deductible if you see a PPO provider. If you do go to a premier out-of-network, that is covered at 80%. So we pay 80%, you would pay 20%. Okay, so you can see the savings by using a PPO provider. Your basic care, your fillings, your extractions, your root canals, periodontal treatment, as well as oral surgery is covered at 80% for PPO, 60% for premier out-of-network. And your major work, your crowns, your prosthodontics, bridge work, dentures, repair of the dentures as well is covered at 50% regardless of what dentist, okay? And then the orthodontic benefit for children and adults is covered no matter what provider, 50%, $1,000 lifetime. If anyone is thinking of braces, Invisalign is a covered benefit. It just has to be for significant tooth movement. So it's not for like that little cosmetic movement that you might want, but if you need braces and you qualify, Invisalign is covered as well. I just always like to caution that, I'm not sure if you've seen some of the companies now on Facebook, Smile Direct is one of them. We do not cover those because you are not seen by a licensed dentist. And that is part of our contract, okay? I know they're a lot cheaper, but you're just having, it could be me taking your impression and then sending it to a lab, okay? So great benefit, they have both adult and children. Some of the enhancements on the PPO plus Premier plan, oral health enhancement. This is for members that have gum disease and have a history of gum disease. You can qualify for up to 4 cleanings. You could get 2 of your regular and 2 periodontal, or the periodontist might say you just, you can still stay with the regular cleaning if you have the history. For those who do have it and have undergone maybe a periodontal cleaning, it's not a fun thing, but it's very necessary. It protects further decay. So this is an excellent benefit that was added on for you. There is a form that your dentist would just need to fill out because we wouldn't have your history and just send it in. So if anyone afterwards has a question, I can certainly go over that with you. Another benefit added on is integrated oral health. And this is for members that have certain conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, or if you're pregnant, you do need extra cleanings because your gums are very sensitive during that. So you would qualify, again, for up to 4 dental cleanings and or periodontal maintenance. This is an added benefit that was put on for you, which is excellent. Third benefit, which I love, is carryover maximum. This could be a really long explanation, so I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. For 2019, you're going to accumulate and be eligible to carry over to 2020. Yep, we were saying that already. The qualification is you need to get at least 1 cleaning during the year and not use more than half of your annual maximum. If you have those 2, you can carry over 25% of the unused max. So let's say you use $500, we'll keep it simple. You have $1,000 left, you got your cleaning. You carry over $250 to the next year, and now you have $1,750 to use. Okay? And you can keep doing this every year. If next year you don't get your cleaning, you forfeit whatever you accumulated. So it's really encouraging oral health, taking care of your teeth. Again, it's a free added benefit that's for you that your company put on, recognizing the importance of oral health. Okay? Just real quick on that, we do not show that on if you register on our website or on our mobile app. You would have to call customer service. Because they feel that if say, I look online and a claim came in but wasn't processed yet, and I thought I had, $1,800, but I really only had $1,600, they want you to call because it's real time. Okay? Okay. Second plan is DeltaCare USA. It's our DHMO. It is a national network. Again, like I had said earlier, a member can select their own dentist from the list of participating dentists. If you are signing up, you can put the facility number. It'll be recognized in UltiPro, and it'll come over on the feed to Delta Dental. If at the time you're not really sure who to choose, you want to maybe research a little more, but you know some of the dentists in the network, you can call Delta Dental and the customer service between December 17th and 21st to choose your primary care dentist so that we can get it in for January 1st. If you don't know at that time, you can always call an elected dentist. Okay? What happens if you don't put any election, we will assign one closest to you. Because in the event of the emergency, at least you have someone to see. If you want to change your dentist, you have to call by the 15th of the month to be on their roster for the first of the following. Okay? So offices receive rosters from Delta Dental that says Kathleen Roon is in this office, my husband John Roon is in the office, and so forth. If you miss that deadline and there's an emergency, usually they can work through it. But some offices with us, you'll see, or say roster only. They're very strict. Hopefully nothing will happen like that, but I just encourage you to, if you know up front, to make that selection. Again, you can always change. The website for DeltaCare is deltadentalinS.com, and I do have flyers up front for both websites. You can also see DeltaCare providers if you go onto the deltadentalinj.com. So again, there's no deductible, there's no maximum, there's no claim forms. Your co-pays cover everything. And you would know up front what your exposure is. For cleanings, there's no copay. So it's covered 100%. The copay for orthodontia, I believe off the top of my head, is $2,100. That's all you're going to pay for 24 months of coverage, because that's usually the time for braces is 24 months. Versus, braces are minimum $5,000, more, some areas $7,000, $2,100, that's a really good, amazing price. And some extra benefits, there are additional cleanings, and whitening of teeth is covered. It's not covered under the consumer plan because it's cosmetic, but they put it in on this. So. Transition of care. So members that are in the Aetna DHMO, and you're just going to go into our DHMO for non-orthodontic services, the primary carrier is responsible to complete all the work in progress. Okay, so say like preparing the teeth tooth for a crown, but then come in January, the crown is put on, that would be the portion covered under Delta Dental. And then for members that are in the Aetna PPO, enrolling into Delta Dental, the PPO plus Premier, we pay upon completion. So whatever was done while you were in Aetna, we would take into consideration and pay up to the applicable co-insurance and calendar year maximum. And we just get the, the prior, what was paid from Aetna, from the dentist. Okay? It's very simple. I do also have up front, if anyone is considering the DMO, they're in the Aetna DMO now and their child is in braces, we have a form because we will cover that transition. And we will agree to pay the dentist what was being paid under Aetna, which is a really nice benefit. Okay. So you have two different group numbers. You have a group number for PPO plus Premier as well as the DeltaCare. There are different customer service numbers. Actually, our DeltaCare customer service is located in Georgia. So, but for the PPO plus Premier, everything's in Parsippany, New Jersey. Your customer service, your claims, I'm in Parsippany. So it's very nice that we're local. You can call us, you can go online and register after January 1st. You can register on our website, or you can download the mobile app. You can't register yourself on the mobile app until you're in our system though, okay? I love the mobile app. I use it all the time. My card is on my phone. I can email a card, so if you have a child at school, you can email it to them. You can see your benefits, when your last cleaning was, your family members that are covered. Online, you can print explanation of benefits. So if you're using the flex spending account and you need to get those EOBs in by the end of the year, you can just go on and print any and then submit them. You can also print an ID card. And then on our mobile app, there's a cost tool estimator. So let's say you need a crown and a root canal and that your dentist is in our network, it'll actually pull up their fee schedule with Delta Dental, and it'll tell you what your responsibility is and what Delta Dental will pay. Again, it is an estimate. Best thing if you're having a large procedure done is ask your dentist to submit a pre-treatment estimate to Delta Dental, and then you'll know exactly what is covered because they'll submit the codes. Okay. And then on the DMO, there's also a mobile app as well as you can register and go online. You can change your dentist right online if you do register for that as well. Okay, and you can also print an ID card. You can also, if you lose your ID card, you can always call Delta Dental. I will say this, our ID cards are paper, they are not laminated. So many people, they get them, it looks like junk mail. So if, that's why I always encourage the mobile app, or just printing one and, maybe laminating it, but, okay. And this is a wrap that I was going on about. So it's very easy to use. And again, there's also the toothbrush timer set to music, so if you have kids, you can kind of encourage them to brush those teeth. And a My Dental Score risk assessment. So it is something that if you're honest and you say, your lifestyle, you could then bring that to your dentist and they could maybe see, right, you may be at risk for, let's say, some decay, some gum disease, things like that. So it's very user-friendly. Okay. Do you want me to keep going on this, or?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I think we can take
All
it
right.
back. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That's the end of the meeting officially.